think we are good to go. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining for our annual meeting. Let's start with a little, first of all, I just want to mention that Holly Paxton will not be here tonight. She had a family situation arise, and so we're sending our thoughts to her, and she'll be back with us at our next meeting. Let's do a quick round the rooms, just remind folks who we are and maybe talk about a good book you've read recently. I'll start. I'm Amy Blondin, and I just finished a book called Little Secrets. I'm just on a kick of like lighthearted mysteries. So that's what I read. It's set in Seattle. It was lots of twists and turns. It was really fun. So I really enjoyed that one. And I choose Charlotte to go next.
Okay, thank you, Amy. I'm Charlotte, and I think everybody knows that I work in an elementary school library. So I read a lot of elementary literature. And we are in a refresh cycle. Our library is going to have a lot of our old worn out books replaced. So I have been reading fairy tales for the last couple of days, trying to decide which ones are just so outdated that we don't need them in the collection anymore, and which ones are worthy of staying in the collection, but just need to be updated because the books are old and worn out. So the most recent one I read was a Chinese version of Cinderella, which I found really disturbing because the stepmother and stepsister at the end are relegated to living in a cave and they are buried under a rock slide.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Bummer. Wow, that's dark for a kid's book.
Okay, I choose Sarah.
My name's Sarah Town, and I'm the Lacey Youth Council representative. And a good book that I've read recently would perhaps be a book that I had to read for school, actually, called Metamorphosis. And it's about a guy who is turned into a bug or a creature like that. Do I say somebody to go next?
Sure.
Oh, Pam.
I'm Pam Nelson, and I'm retired, loving it. The book I'm reading, I read a whole bunch of books in December. I don't know why, but I can't remember any of the names of them. I'm terrible about that. But what I'm reading right now is 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. That has anybody read that? It's about about what this author is looking at, the impact of artificial intelligence on our world over the course of the next century, and it's, I gotta say, it's mind-boggling. So if anybody is if you it's really eye-opening about some of the things we've they're already in process, but what the potential is out there, and some of it is seems like really great things, and some of it can be it'd be kind of scary. So anyway, it's thought-provoking, I'll say.
Sounds like it.
So I guess that leaves Scott.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Robinson. I've been on the library board for, 4 or 5 years now, and I am a state worker during the day. And recently I've been kind of doing this funky little project that I'm going back through some Dr. Seuss books and looking for leadership quotes and leadership, tying it to leadership. So I've read the Lorax and Places You'll Go and things like that, things I haven't read since I was my kids were, pretty young. So, and then I kind of read those books, came up with some ideas and presented it to my team at work recently. And so you put these phrases on a screen, right? You say, hey, how does that tie to leadership? And it really gets adults thinking differently about leadership when you quote Dr. Seuss. So that's what I've been up to.
Charlotte, your eyes lit up.
Has any title leadership, but one of my favorite Dr. Seuss quotes is from What Was I Afraid of? Some people call it The Green Pants with Nobody Inside Them. And the main character says that it describes being in a field with spooky creatures, and he says he wasn't scared. He says, I said those words. I said them and I said them and I said them. I said them and I lied them. And I think that's a great quote about bravery and self-talk and working yourself up to do something that you find difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't run into that. That's good.
I love it. Okay, so we sent out the agenda and the draft minutes from the last meeting. This meeting is really a fairly short and sweet, I think, agenda. We should probably go ahead and approve it before we do anything else. So does anyone want to move to approve the agenda or make any changes to it?
I move that we approve it as written.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved as presented. Let's see, has everyone had a chance to review the December 8th minutes that Charlotte put together for us?
Yes.
Any edits or additions? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, Charlotte, for taking those minutes for us. Don't see, and Holly and I did have a chance to connect before the meeting. She did not have anybody signed up for public comment. So I think we are good to move into the kind of meat of the agenda for tonight, which is election of chair and vice chair. I have served in this capacity for, I think, a couple years, and Scott did for a couple years before that. I'm going to read from the bylaws just a quick description of the two chair and vice chair roles, and then we can have a conversation about it and what makes sense for 2022. So duties of the chair. The chair shall preside at meetings of the board, authorize calls for special meetings, appoint all committees, execute all documents authorized by the board, serve as an ex officio voting member of all committees except the nominating committee, issue notice of all regular and special meetings, and generally perform all duties associated with the office of the chair. Duties of the vice chair / secretary. The vice chair, in the event of the absence, disability of the chair, or a vacancy in that office, shall assume and perform the duties and functions of the chair. The secretary shall keep true and accurate minutes of all meetings of the board and shall perform such other duties as are generally associated with the office of secretary. So those are the sort of official descriptions of those positions. Scott, Charlotte, anybody else who has served in any of those roles, do you have any reflections on what they entail or anything you think folks should know as they consider them?
You know, it's basically the chair is basically running the meeting, pulling the agenda together, talking to Holly ahead of time, and trying to see if there's budget items or what she might be thinking about. So it's just coordination and running the meeting. And then I was also, before I was chair, I was the vice chair minute taker. And that's the hardest thing about that is getting the minutes out to everybody, because you finish the meeting and you have the tendency to put them aside and you're like, uh-oh. But so yeah, they're not overly hard and they don't take a ton of time, to tell you the truth.
I agree with Scott. I took the minutes for a period of time, and the hardest thing was to remember to type them up and send them out.
Agreed. I will say that I really enjoyed being the chair of the group. I think it's a little more enjoyable when we're able to meet in person rather than on a screen. I know we all probably have varying levels of Zoom fatigue, but I am committed to serve on another board. I want to absolutely continue on this board. I love the work and I love talking about libraries and books. I do ask that somebody else take on the chair role this year. I think it's just good to have different perspectives, and also I'm feeling a little overcommitted. So if anyone has any questions about what the role entails, I'm happy to answer them. But I'd also love to hear if anybody is interested in stepping into that role or has thoughts or insights about it.
I am not eligible.
Okay, is that because your term is?
I thought my term had one more year, but when I looked on the website, it says that I expire the 1st of February. I cannot right now find my appointment letter. I will find it in the near future, but if the website is right,
okay,
then I'm not eligible.
But isn't that
So-
just a matter of having you reappointed?
Yeah,
Can we
when
do
I-
it? We can't do it in time I can't run for office if I'm not eligible to serve in the office.
Yeah, I think we've run into this in the past a little bit, and it's basically if you're willing to be on the board, continue on, then the city council has to take that up.
Mhm.
And I don't know, many boards I've served on previously, you were like on the board until you were, not voted off, but until somebody replaced you per se. So I guess I'm saying if you're interested, I wouldn't say it precludes you necessarily.
If I can get reappointed or extended, I would consider taking the chair role for the next year.
Okay. So if we can make that a conditional, just making sure that we check in and get the paperwork done to get you reauthorized, it sounds like you would be willing to take on the chair role for 2022.
Yes.
How about vice chair / secretary? Is this something we nominate James for since he's not here tonight?
I do find it interesting that he is not here, but no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I don't really mind taking the minutes, but I'm kind of in the same boat as you are right now, Amy. I'm feeling stretched a little bit thin right at the moment. So I kind of hesitate to take on a formally take on something else, I mean, I love being, doing this, but yeah, I'm just a little hesitant to say, offer my hand up for one more thing.
That's fair. I think we're all feeling the same pinch.
I wonder if we could do like round robin for the
Yeah.
minutes, right? So each take a meeting, because we have 4 or 5 meetings a year, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that way we would just say, okay, we'll just make a schedule basically, right?
Mhm.
And in the past, we've that has been able to include the student representative as well. So
Okay.
it might just be an idea, a way to spread the love, if you will.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, do you think it would be appropriate maybe if Pam were named vice chair / secretary with the understanding that we would?
Yeah, we'll all take our turn. Sure. That way she gets all the glory and we'll back her up.
Oh, I get a raise to go along with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it puts your name on the website. I think
Yeah.
you get a title.
Whoa.
You're famous, Pam.
You can put it on your
As long
resume.
as we document it in the minutes that
Yeah.
the board agrees that so and so will take minutes for this meeting, I think we can do that
Okay.
without any repercussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of feels like the best possible scenario right now, given we're all so busy and want to do what we can. So I think that's a great approach.
That's a good solution.
Looking at the bylaws, Scott, at the annual meeting, do we need to vote? I know we have the election of officers. I didn't see anything in there about having to vote on it, but is that what we have done in the past?
Yeah, or at least we do a motion.
Okay.
So we could move, Charla for chair.
Chair pending reappointment.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then we vote on that, and then we can do the same with the vice chair, and
Okay.
and then I think we need to talk about meeting dates real quick too.
We do. Yeah. And I have some that I jotted down for a
Okay.
potential discussion. So I move that Charla, pending reappointment, be appointed or elected chair of the board for 2022.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations and thank you, Charla. We really appreciate you stepping up. And I, of course, am happy to help with whatever comes up throughout the year. I know you've done this, and it's,
I actually have not been the chair. I've been the vice. I'm not sure if I've been the vice chair, or if I was just a designated note taker.
Okay.
So we just need to get to the person at the city who helps us get, this before the city council.
Yeah.
Is it Scott Spence?
No, usually I don't know. Is it Alyssa? I don't know who. It was a different person when I was
Yeah.
chair.
I can follow up and pass it along and get some confirmation.
Thank you, Alyssa.
It's the voice. Thank you.
The voice of the city.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I move that Pam Nelson be appointed Vice Chair Secretary of the board for 2022.
Second.
With the caveat that we will
Right.
help her out.
Yes.
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 I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're out. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Thank you so much, Pam.
You're
And
welcome.
hold us, we'll
Thank
keep
you,
ourselves.
everybody for coming up with a good solution.
I think that's the best solution. Thank you, Scott, for proposing that. So we need to set some date. I mean, it's good for us to set some dates so we can get them on the calendar. We need to have, at least 4 regular meetings in the year. I jotted down 4 dates, second Wednesday of the month, kind of distributed throughout the year. I know that there was a suggestion last time that we have Scott Spence from the city come talk to us about budget in February or March. So I was proposing March 9th as our next meeting date. Do you want me to run through all 4 of them or just do them one at a time?
Let's run through all 4 of them and then go back and discuss each one.
So I wrote down March 9th, June 8th, September 14th, and December 14th. And if there are any sort of logistical reasons why it makes more sense to do them a different month, that's we can absolutely.
Can
Good job.
anybody recall when Holly has to submit the budget to the city? Because that should drive one of our meetings. I think the June one
Is that too late?
might need to be pushed a little later in the year to accommodate that. Scott, I think Scott's figuring it out.
Yeah, I'm digging into that here. Hold on just a sec. I think in the 2018, we communicated with Scott around July we did a formal budget request. So if we met we should probably talk to him first. So the city's aware it's coming. And then we would draft up that memo and send it over in July.
Okay.
So Charlotte, are you thinking the June meeting should be earlier so that we have time for that conversation?
I wish that Holly were here
I
because
know.
Holly has to have her budget ready before. Holly will provide us with what she thinks the library needs.
Yeah.
And then we'll recommend it to Scott. So I don't want to have the meeting too early so that we rush Holly, but I don't want to have it too late so that we can't we can't meet the city's deadline.
So we could just pick come up with the March meeting, and then when Holly's available, vote on the rest of them.
Oh.
Is everyone comfortable with that?
It'll either be May or June, probably.
Yeah. Okay, so let's focus on March. Does March 9th look okay for folks and for the city's Zoom account, assuming we'll still be remote?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Sarah, how about you? I know you have a lot on your plate, probably school and otherwise.
I have no idea what's happening in the next few months, so I'm sure I can make time for it.
Okay.
Hey, Sarah, do you graduate this year or next year?
I'm a sophomore, so.
Oh, you're sophomore. Oh, wow. Look at you.
Yeah, I know.
So you can come back to the board next year if you'd like.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we got clarification that student reps could be more than a year. Previously, we got that direction. So if I'd known that, I would have said Sarah for president. So
Yeah.
or for chair. No offense.
You look great on college applications.
Yeah. Well, Sarah has a few more years even. I certainly wasn't on a board when I was a sophomore in high school, so good job, Sarah. Okay, so it sounds like March 9th at 5:30 for our next meeting. And then at that time, hopefully we'll have everyone available and we can talk about the rest of the dates and what makes sense for.
It looks like, I just went to the website and looked at the minutes that are
Yeah.
posted. It looks like we've been meeting in May and August.
Okay.
A few years ago, we met in July.
Yeah.
But lately, it's been May and August,
Okay.
and then again in September.
May and August and again in September. Okay.
I
I
think
didn't
the big
remember
thing
that.
has been getting Scott on his
Yeah.
availability
Yeah.
to pop in, and maybe it's easier on Zoom than it was to get him in person.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I can reach out to Scott after this meeting and see if he's available on March 9th to join us. If everyone thinks that's appropriate.
I
And
think it'd be
then,
great.
When do we actually switch with the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
all right, so we'll consider March 9th our next meeting date. Does anyone have anything else kind of for the good of the order, things they want to share, things going on? Things we'd like to talk about in 2020. I know this isn't really a planning meeting other than getting dates on the calendar, but if there are things folks want to flag for us for future meetings.
I would like to know, because I think Scott is the only one who's been on the board longer than me. Were any of you required to take open public meetings training when you were appointed? Did you do that? Did you watch the video and just do it on your own?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think we all had to do that, because it seemed like I had to take that training too.
Well, my first year, it had to be a live training,
Oh,
and we've never done it live since then. And I don't remember the bylaws being amended to allow it to be virtual training. So I've been concerned because we haven't had it for a while, but if everybody's doing it on their own, then it's no problem.
yeah, and I think that's a city, well, I guess I should do a little more research before I speak about that because I don't know, but it seemed like the city sent me a link and asked me to do it.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
kind of, yeah.
Me too. Mhm.
So maybe they've changed their requirement. Maybe it's
Mhm.
just once per term.
Yeah.
Because I
don't know.
remember the annoying music from that video. Somehow it was, yeah.
Doesn't every training video have annoying music
Yeah,
in
I
it?
know,
It's like a
it does.
requirement.
Yeah. Oh, you should do some of the IRS tax training videos. Oh my God. Oh.
Oh, man. Okay. Anyone else have anything for the good of the order? Okay. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope everyone stays healthy as possible over the next couple months.
Yeah.
And we'll see everyone in March.
All right. Looking forward
Sounds
to it.
great.
Thanks, you guys. Take care.
Thank you all.
Bye.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.